Hi everyone, and thanks for being with me. I had posted a video on Douglas Murray a little while ago because I was fascinated by his influence and appearance on Sky News. Now, I admit that I knew nothing of him until his appearance on the said channel. I had not thought about who he was until I saw the interview with Cenk Uygur and Piers Morgan. So why am I fascinated by him, you may ask? Well, he is influential and he certainly has a lot to say about issues which interest me. So I have taken a brief dive into who is Douglas Murray. On his Wikipedia page, it tells us who he is. He was born on the 16th of July 79. He's a British author and political commentator. He founded the Centre for Social Cohesion in 2007, which became part of the Henry Jackson Society, where he was Associate Director from 2011 to 2018. He's currently an Associate Editor of the conservative British political and cultural magazine, The Spectator, and that's all we need to know, I guess. What we glean from this information is that he is a conservative commentator who writes for conservative media. This tells us that he takes a right-wing view on most things and would therefore appeal to the right-wing thinking individuals. He's been accused of putting socially acceptable face on fringe ideologies. A description in Wikipedia sums Murray up in my view. It says, and I quote, "a kind of mainstream ideology that defies easy categorization as extreme while remaining entangled with the far right," end quote. He purports to be moderate by spinning a far-right ideology entwined in a word salad of confusing logic. For those who are Islamophobic and anti-immigration, he offers a view of the world, which to them, I believe, must be very enticing. There is no doubt that he's very intelligent, well-informed, and in my view, a skilled debater. He has a large following and is a media performer who has garnered attention for his far-right views. In an interview with Rita Panahi on Sky News, he had this to say about proportionality when it comes to the attacks by Hamas and the response of the IDF.
I've always thought that the whole idea of proportionality in conflict is absurd. It's something which I think Western countries and the UN, who always gang up on Israel whenever Israel is attacked, it's something that these people always obsess about only in the case of Israel. We in Western democracies, whenever we've had to wage war in the past, do not say, is this entirely proportionate in a response? Because proportionate is an abstract idea. What is proportionate in a conflict? Proportionate in this conflict would mean that the response to the massacre of more than 1,000 Israelis in cold blood by Hamas a couple of weeks ago should be responded to by Israel by sending Israeli forces to rape exactly the same number of women as Hamas raped and to decapitate exactly the same number of babies Hamas decapitated, and to steal hundreds of Palestinians and hold them in dungeons and torture them as Hamas did. I mean, it's obscene to even think in these terms. And yet that's what proportionality would mean in this conflict. When people say proportionate, that the Israeli response must be proportionate, there are several things they're doing. One is that they are showing that they are utter ignoramuses because they know nothing about Israel's war since 1948, when its neighbors have repeatedly attempted to annihilate it. And they don't seem to realize that, as has very often been said, not least I think by Golda Meir. You know, if Hamas laid down its arms, if the Palestinian extremists, jihadists laid down their arms, there'd be peace. Whereas if Israel laid down its arms, there'd be no Jewish state. So when people say proportionality about Israel, what they want is they want to signal, well, you do sort of have the right, maybe, to respond to the massacre, abduction, and rape of your citizenry, maybe, if you're Israel, but do reply with one hand tied behind your back, won't you? And don't win. That's what they're also saying. Whatever you do, don't win. Don't bring any of these wretched conflicts to a conclusion. Make sure you draw so that you end up stopping roughly at the point just before the conflict began.
This is an example of rationality being distorted so that we think that proportionality equals the same or equal to what was done to others. He fails to address the real issue, which is the number of innocent people killed by the blanket bombing by Israel. Of course, interviewers such as Rita will not address those issues because it simply doesn't fit with their preferred narrative. His logic isn't questioned because he is perceived as the purveyor of truth. Murray is a distortionist. He counters every argument with his version of facts which are not fact-checked in real time. Is it true that the United Nations is anti-Israel, for example? Now, because of the continuing conflict in the Middle East, the United Nations has definitely moved more resolutions regarding Israel than any other country. This is not the United Nations being anti-Israel. It is about attempts to resolve the conflict created by the Palestinian question. The word salad presented by Murray is the format he uses to promote discord and misinformation. Murray represents the underbelly of the right, fomenting hate and fear because it gathers clicks and media coverage, which feels his ego needing recognition and relevance. I'd be happy to read your comments below. Remember to subscribe and punch the like button. Take care. Look after yourselves and keep yourselves and others safe.